spokesperson for the inaugural address. What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
It's Fri YAY! You know what that means? That means the government gets to catch their breath, take the weekend off. Well, kind of, except liberalism, socialism, communism, and evil never take a day off. Folks, it would be nice if they took a day off, but they're not. They're going full speed ahead, and it is the Friday free-for-all. We're going to go full speed ahead. Woo! I mean, I want to thank Mr. T for doing those new Genius of Liberalism pages. We've got a lot going on, folks. And I wish it was all fun and games. I wish it was all satire. In fact, did I even get the satire? I think I did. I think I got Hat Woman in there. I know that's a favorite of Frank's. Big Frank up in, well, we'll just call it New England. We've got a lot to talk about, folks. It is the Friday free-for-all, which means we're going to mix it up. Right? My comments, my questions, my thoughts, then your comments, your questions, your thoughts. So get your questions, comments, thoughts, prognostications, whatever you've got, get it in, folks, into the comments. If you're on the thepreparedmind.club and you've paid $2 whopping per month, 7 cents a day is all it takes to be able to come on here Monday through Friday, support this channel, support free speech, support the Constitution, America, and telling the socialists they can suck it. Jolene asked, man, what are you taking? You got some good vitamins or something. I tell you what, folks, I'm living on the dream and vision and fight that is coming for us to save America and restore freedom and liberty. But it ain't going to be easy. No, it's not. This is going to be a fight, folks. An intellectual fight, a physical fight. There's going to be freedom seeds flying. The bad guys are going to be crying. Folks, a lot of people are going to be crying on both sides because the tree of liberty, as Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of saints and tyrants. It means everyone gets to take a bite, a big old bite of a shit sandwich that we're calling SHTF. Okay, I'm going to start off. This is it. President Biden comes out and admits that his attacks on Americans that believe we should make America great again, his attacks on Americans who are patriotic, it's not just about Trump. He's admitted it. It actually involves anyone who disagrees with their disgusting, evil, socialist, folks, communist regime. The new liberal world order, the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. Now, I'm going to give you the quote from President Biden, whose speech sounded like a dictator's speech, looked like a dictator's speech, was presented as a dictator's speech. Here's the quote. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They promote authoritarian leaders, and they fan the flames of political violence, said President Biden. Are you fucking kidding me? Republicans don't respect the Constitution? Where the fuck was this old cretin in the summer of 2020? Where the fuck was he after Fauci was given carte blanche authority to call an emergency and then have the entire planet locked down? Authoritarian leaders not believing in the rule of law, respecting the Constitution? That sounds like the fucking resume of every Democrat I've ever heard of. And half the Republicans, because they're a bunch of rhino pieces of shit. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm having a good old time. Biden also said, MAGA Republicans embrace anger, thrive on chaos, live in shadow of lies. Really? What a poetic prick This old codger is. This old bastard who once again this week couldn't figure out how to finish what he was talking about and leave the fucking stage. He looks like a doddering old fool, walking around with his hands in the air, not knowing what to do, shaking hands with the air. Lost, folks, lost. The man carries cue cards with him to tell him to crap his own pants. Now, Stephen Miller, who has a little bit to do with the Republican side of things, said President Biden tonight, and this is speaking of his Moloch evil speech. He says President Biden gave a speech of a dictator in the style of a dictator, in the visual of a dictator, using the words of a dictator, right? Thursday, Biden was in New York at the Democrat National Committee reception. During his speech, he said, hey, it's not just about Trump, right? He calls MAGA Republicans, make America great again, patriots, veterans, people who follow the Constitution, obey the law, demand justice, which we're not getting out of the Department of Justice. We love our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. We love our property rights, our gun rights, our right to breathe air. Not so much with the Democrats, folks, who want to send us to re-education camps, call us deplorable, want to send us to extermination camps. In fact, the little pricks out there, try it with me, you little fuckers, right? Running down kids, grandma, young men because they're Republicans. Folks, the flip-flop, lies, doublespeak is off the hook, right? Right? Biden, after his dictator speech with the red, denied he said anything about, oh, no, I didn't mean all Republicans, and then comes out, folks, and says, yeah. Not just talking about Trump. We're talking about all MAGA Republicans are a threat to the country, right? Folks, the street Democrats, that means the everyday run-of-the-mill street socialist Democrats, have become verbally and physically violent. I'm not hearing anything about Republicans running down Democrats. I don't hear anything about Republicans going to gay bars and doing awful things to them. I don't hear anything, folks, about that. But once again, they're going to say it. We're the threat. Folks, cold-blooded murder of everyday, run-of-the-mill, freedom-seeking, loving Republicans is going to be the order of the day with these bastards. It truly is. It truly is. Thank you again, Mr. T. I just got your email here. It just popped up. All right. And before I get to your first question, your first comment, get them into Jolene. She'll stack them up for me and then tell me how many there are, and we'll start rolling. I want you to give you the words of a YouTuber, folks, who's gone viral. Well, wait a minute. He went viral, and then what? YouTube canned him. Now, because I'm just a satirist, a comedian, a sardonic, satirical, you might even say cynical satirist. I haven't been kicked off because I'm not violating terms of service or community guidelines. I don't recommend, initiate, I don't glamorize or glorify violence, but I do talk about stuff that's happening out there. But a YouTuber got out there, right? And he told it the way he saw it, and YouTube kicked him off. His little show was called Steve Will Do It. And folks, he did it. He is joined exclusively with Rumble. And today, Rumble's stock price jumped more than 8%. It's hard to believe this guy, right? He said, he tweeted this out once YouTube kicked him off. He said, YouTube, eat my sack. Meaning his ball sack. And I am caustic, bellicose. I am too extreme. I'm too extreme. I'm too vociferous. Well, I'm on YouTube. I'm also on thepreparedmind.club. And I'm also on subscribestar.com. And we're also on Rumble, believe it or not. But we don't push that because YouTube still reaches the widest audience. But if you want, go on Rumble, watch on Rumble, share on Rumble, share everywhere. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got everything, folks. We've got to beat these fuckers back at their own game. and they don't like it. Right? Whether it's Steve will do it or the prepared mind. In fact, a very close friend of mine in the South was at a how we call this, a business function, right? That's right. During the week, during the business day, the subject of social media came up. Then the subject of prepping came up. And then the subject of the prepared mind came up. And my friend reported to me, the speaker goes, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that guy prepping." Folks, you and I, we are not just a couple thousand people out here. YouTube is fucking lying about us. They're holding us back. We have over 80,000 subscribers, and they want to say, "Oh, no one's watching that guy." They do that on purpose. They hide us on purpose. They hide our numbers on purpose, and other channels as well, to dissuade, discourage, and to demote us. Well, they're going to all fucking pay at some point, folks. Everybody, me, you, everybody gets to pay the fiddler. All right, Jolene, who wants to be up first on the Prepared Minds Free for All Fri YAY? And we're going to start with Doc Holliday, the king of capitalization. He says, hey, gays against groomers. That's a group, folks. Gays against groomers. Got kicked off of PayPal. This group is against teaching their lifestyle to children. That's right. How about that? Someone goes, you know what? Sexualizing children, making children sex toys, engaging children in sexual discussions about their personal lives in school, taking children to drag queen and other striptease and sexualized shows and pride parades is fucking sick. It is. Now, continuing with Doc Holliday, he says, however, PayPal is allowing a pedo advocacy group that wants to have sex with children. Oh, I'm sure of it, folks. I've got a story in here about PayPal. I've got a story in here about PayPal for the day. Thank you, Doc Holliday. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, how about that? There it is, right in the news. Pow, right fucking down Main Street. PayPal has sparked outrage, not just over, right, the gays against groomers. It's shutting down an account of Britain's free speech union. Free speech union. Free speech. Who ever heard of such a thing? Free speech. That is not a right. Oh, well, it was 10 years ago, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago, 250 fucking years ago, free speech was an issue. But once these socialist, communist, fascist cocksuckers called Democrats and Republicans in D.C., Rhino Republicans, all of a sudden they have power and authority. They control the media, social media, big tech. They're all, folks, they got a rope tied around their nutsack being pulled by the World Economic Forum, the Illuminati. Now, all of a sudden, free speech isn't allowed. We can't have that. There's a limit to free speech, said Hillary Clinton. Give me a fucking break. Now, on to the news article. PayPal. People are outraged at it, folks. Here it is. Toby Young said this, I believe, a founder of the Free Speech Union and the Daily Skeptic. What a great name, the Daily Skeptic. You know, are you supposed to read that and doubt them and go, you know, maybe I should be skeptical of these skeptical motherfuckers? Oh, man, what a week. Yeah, I'm on vitamins, Jolene. This is what the Free Speech Union says. This is the new battlefront in the ongoing war against free speech. Financial services being withdrawn from people. That's right, folks. The Prepared Mind does not have PayPal anymore. Why? Oh, because we violated what they consider to be niceties. Yeah, meanwhile, they allow, child sex groomers, people who want pedophilia, and who knows what else. Yeah, so the founder of the Free Speech Union and the Daily Skeptic, Toby Young, he's speaking to Mark Dolan about payments to his organizations being blocked by PayPal. If you're on, folks, the club, the preparedmind.club, and you're on Subscribestar, you get news articles, links about Cerveza Bug, Jim Jones Juice, about PayPal. All these stories come up. and they get jammed in there by Jolene so you can, to your heart's content, read all the shit I talk about. I don't make this shit up. I don't pull it out my ass. I don't, I don't. This is all real shit. It's Bizarro land. Now, here's a quote. Not only can you not express certain views, you cannot defend people's right to even express them. That's what Young claimed in a tweet. Once again, Toby Young. Listen to the words. Not only can you not express a certain view, you cannot defend people's rights to express them, to express a certain view. Right? So let's just say Peter Schiff decides to engage in some political discussion rather than just talking about gold or the economy or the Federal Reserve or all those things Peter Schiff loves to talk about. Let's see that Peter Schiff wants to delve into politics and wants to attack the left and says, hey, you're a bunch of fruitcakes. And he makes fun of them. They will get rid of Peter Schiff in a heartbeat because he's got a big audience, right? And Peter Schiff is not, folks, a satirist, a comedian. He's not a skeptic and a cynic the way I am. This show is not to be taken serious. It's all bullshit, right? Sure. Now, Peter Schiff gets kicked off for making fun of a protected class of Fruit Loops. And if you went on YouTube and other platforms to defend Peter Schiff, then what? Then you can get kicked off too. Kind of like being on Twitter. Someone puts something out there. You retweet it and you get suspended for retweeting, not for printing it on your site, but just for hitting that retweet button. Oh, because you're responsible for spreading misinformation. Oh, you mean misinformation? Like Joe Biden, President of the United States, giving out medical misinformation saying that the pandemic is over? Why isn't he canceled? Why isn't PayPal canceled Biden? Oh, we know why. We know exactly why. Right? We do. All right, Jolene. I've been yakking and yakking. Who do we have up next? Because I did them, and then I went to my side of the story, and then now we're on to Heidi. And she said, you have... The plumbers are here. You have 2 more listeners today. I'll tell you what, plumbers. You better pull your head out of those toilets and pay attention here. Shit has hit the fan. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Folks, we have people that accidentally hear all of my blabbing. And that's why some days I yell extra loud to get through the walls, to get through thick fucking skulls. And I'll ask you guys, I'll ask you plumbers. Anyone. Since when is it illegal? Since when in America is it illegal to have an opinion that disagrees with someone else's opinion and then you get punished for it? Right? Homosexuals, drag queens, all of these people over there in that weird zone, right? They're protected, but regular people aren't. They have special privileges, but we should be silenced. They can have the most crude, disgusting, anti-American political views. But if we are patriotic, we should be canceled. Not only businesses, folks, are firing people for their politics. People are being denied, folks, financial services. And I got to tell you, these idiots at PayPal, they're getting ready for a huge lawsuit against them. They are offering public services, and they are denying people that service and punishing them just because they disagree with their opinions. Folks, having an opinion is not a crime. All righty. Anyways, Heidi, thank you for exposing your poor plumbers. Right? They deal with shit all day long, and then you're going to give them more shit. How perfect is that? Let's see. Today I dealt with a plumber. Or is this secret code, folks? Plumbers is a term used in the Secret Services. Plumbers is a term used in the company. I wonder if Heidi is a top secret double agent. All right, let's move on if we shall. Who's next? I'm going to stick with you guys. You're on a frickin' roll. We got Kathy LeMaster checking in and said, had a borrower from a, shall we say, blue area of the country try and tell me that the economy has nothing to do with politics or the election. Ignorance is bliss. I am getting too old to keep my mouth closed now. So we got a little more than a giggle, and bless your heart. Good for you, Kathy. Read them the fucking riot act. I mean, I'll tell you what. I was driving down the road today, and the Democrat candidate for governor was on the back of someone's vehicle. I wanted to pull up next to them, pantomime, roll down the window. I want to talk to you. And then egg them on and say, man, that candidate you're talking about, he's going to win. He's so smart and brilliant. And the person would probably go, yeah, isn't it fucking great? I love it. Oh, my God. It's just fucking fabulous. And then I would say something like, why don't you go fuck yourself now and fuck Joe Biden and fuck the rest of them? And then he might say, well, okay, then I'll take care of that too. I'm telling you, folks, why be nice to these people when they want to kill us? They want to silence us. They want to punish us. They want to deny you access to food because you won't go get the Jim Jones juice, even though it can't be mandated. It's unlawful. In fact, it's downright evil and satanic to try and force people to take anything, much less a concoction that has been demonstrated to be harmful and even deadly. I tell you what, Democrats, you go take all of them you want. You can take my lifetime supply of Jim Jones juice and juice boosters, and you can divide it amongst yourselves and have at it. Hey, if one is good, 3 juice boosters is better. Go get it. Unbelievable. Okay. And once again, while we're on financial services, 24 attorney general, 24 of them, folks, not just one attorney general in a state, but 24 separate states, their attorneys general are demanding credit card companies better drop their plans to try and track gun sales. Folks, what that is, it's interference with a right to deny somebody access to a financial service based on a constitutional right. Well, that's unlawful, right? The Second Amendment, you cannot deny someone service because they want to buy a gun or ammunition or some other self-defense item. But wait a moment. Aren't we already fucking seeing that with the First Amendment and PayPal and other credit card companies and other social media companies? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, fucking YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter all need to be lined up, dragged into court, and have their asses kicked up one side and down the other because telling us we can't speak because it's, misinformation. That is not a violation of the Constitution. If I want to stand here, or rather sit here in my desk in Studio B in the Prepared Mind channel studios and tell bullshit and lies all day, I have a right to do that. And you can't fucking stop me. Well, they say they can and they would if I did. So instead, I give satire. But folks, it's coming. These lawsuits are coming because they have criminalized being free. Now, I can't walk down the street and find a Biden supporter. I mean, it's hard enough to find one of them. But when you find them and they've got a sign in the yard, I can't go up to their door, right, and do things to their property. Why? Why can't I do something like put my own signs in their yard? Why can't I spray things on their house? Why can't I throw bricks through their window? Why can't I vandalize their car? I'll tell you why. Because they have property rights. It is their freaking property. So it doesn't matter what I think of their political fucking opinion or the fact that they worship, honor, follow intellectual dumpas, right? These idiots. But that's what these people are doing to us. They're saying, we don't like your political opinion. We don't like who you support. We call that dangerous. We call that Whoa, misinformation. So how come my political opinion is dangerous? You know, like Joe Biden says, MAGA Republicans are a threat to democracy and a threat to national security and a threat to our nation. Having an opinion is a threat? I haven't acted on that yet. He's encouraging violence against me and you and everyone else. But, right, if we turn the same rules against them and said, well, credit card companies, they can impede your rights. They can make your life difficult. PayPal can impede your rights and make your life difficult. So shouldn't we be able to make Democrats' lives way more difficult? Well, no, they have rights. What about our rights? That's why I'm saying, bring it on, bitches. Make it harder and harder and harder. Piss people off more and more, and they're going to wake up. They're waking up. Those two plumbers are now awake, folks. I guarantee you they're wondering, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Where the hell did this guy come from? I've been here for over, well, almost 10 fucking years on YouTube alone, right? Before that, do you think I was quiet? I wasn't. But once I started the channel, folks, and you guys joined, and we joined en masse, first a couple of hundred, then a few thousand, then over 10,000, then over 50,000, then we hit 70,000 and YouTube killed it. Pow! Started hiding us. And we have struggled to get the last 10,000 new subscribers in the last year. Fucking YouTube. Bunch of pussies. They will not stand toe-to-toe and have a civilized debate with me because I'll bring up points like that. Right? I'll bring up points like that. Right? I would ask them to justify PayPal removing people's right to do business without being impeded based on their, well, race, religion, belief system, a sexual orientation, right? Now, there's nothing in the Constitution, folks, about your race or your religion or your gender or your sexual orientation. There's nothing in there about those being protected. But there is free speech, which is political thought. That's fucking protected. Am I preaching to the choir or what? Ah! Wake the fuck up, plumbers, carpenters, electricians. Everyone wake up. Because after they get done killing all of us carpenters, contractors, plumbers, they'll come after you. And there'll be nobody to rebuild your houses. All right, enough joking aside. Let's move on. Jolene, who wants to step up next and make me nuts? It's Cottage Farm. Oh, she makes a brilliant point. Succinct. Brevity is the soul of wit. Cottage Farm says they want us frustrated and to give up. No justice. I'll tell you what, that is exactly true. They want us frustrated, which is what just drives me fucking nuts, Cottage Farm. Pisses me off. Makes me mad. Letting the steam out of my collar, right? Fuck these people. Literally. Well, no, not in a sexual way, but, fuck them. They want us frustrated. They want us mad. They want us thinking we can't change anything, that we can't make a difference, that voting won't matter. That's why they fucked with the elections in 2020 to the point that, weird stuff happened. And they want to fuck with the elections again in 2022 in order to frustrate us. Please put that right back up, Jolene. I want this point because it's such a good little, short sentence. Short. It's short, but it's succinct. And it makes the point. They want us frustrated to think that we can't make a difference, and we can. If we get frustrated, if they win by frustrating us, then we do give up. And you're right, there'll be no justice for us if we give up. I want justice, folks. That is part of law and order and our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. Part of justice is holding criminals, evil, accountable. That is part of the justice system. It's about protecting us and protecting the peace. It's also about holding the evil bastards accountable. They want us frustrated. They want us to give up. And if that happens, if we give up, guess what? There will be no justice. regardless of how far the left goes, no matter how rotten they are, how much money of ours they steal, how many people they murder. They do that, folks, and yeah, it's over. It won't just be no justice, it'll be no rights and any privileges you think you're going to get. See, when you give up on your rights, all that's left is privileges. And a privilege is that special gift from a tyrant and a dictator to you that can be taken away. Unbelievable. Great short comment. Not going to frustrate me. Oh, I'll get pissed off. But I'm not frustrated. Not the way they intend to make me quit. I'm going to show you or talk to you about this real quick. Remember that show Cops? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? That one, right? Well, guess what? The show Cops is coming back to television. Remember, it was canceled during Black Lives Matter riots when St. George Floyd left his earthly abode. And I don't know where he sailed off to. Anyways, he was flying high as a fucking kite on fentanyl and who knows what else. Anyways, it was canceled during the Black Lives Matter riots where over $4 billion in damage was done to this country alone by, you guessed it, socialist, Democrat, leftists, communists. Well, Cops is coming back. You mean all of a sudden Black Lives Matter doesn't care? And that George Floyd died and it was in vain because now the TV show Cops is back? How about this, folks? Get prepared. Get prepared for what they're going to do with mainstream television, mainstream media. It is woke as a motherfucker. Even kids programming. Have you ever watched the Disney Channel? Have you watched it in the last couple of years? Have you watched a Disney movie or a Disney cartoon in the last couple of years? It is loaded with sexualized children, homosexuals, fruitcakes off the fucking charts. Even their successes, folks, their massive hits. They could have made a cool, kick-ass cartoon about Buzz Lightyear. That lovable little toy, that little misguided toy. Well, they wanted to make him a flaming homosexual, and it flopped. But, folks, the point is here. I won't want to stray too far from Cops. Bad boys, bad boys. They've wokerized, they've liberalized, they've communized television. It's politicized, in other words. How about this? Is Cops going to become a show that is politicized against patriots, Republicans, conservatives? I mean, all Cops has to do is go and catch some parents who have committed a crime at, say, I don't know, a school board meeting. Tonight on Cops, parents get out of hand at a school board meeting, and good thing the boys in blue are there to break it up before they start murdering all of the defenseless homosexual board members. How hard is that going to be? How about this episode? Cops. You're not going to believe it, folks, but some radical right-wingers have been planning some violence in your neighborhood. Good thing the boys in blue are there to bust them up and take away their guns, because no one should have guns except cops. I just made that shit up off the top of my fucking head. Dude, am I that creative? Well, maybe, but am I that creative? Or is it easy to see the future that's coming for us based on the series of events that have occurred over the last 20 fucking years? I've been dropping the F-bomb a lot today because it's Friday. And Friday starts with F. And I'm having a good time doing it. These fucking people out here, they have no idea what's coming if they're not paying attention the way you are. Folks, you need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. As per this morning's video, 0 Dark 30, as I busted out of the bunker. I was crazy 10 years ago, they said. What do you mean there's going to be cannibalism? Now it's mainstream media idea. You know, maybe we should look to cannibalism to solve our food problems. Oh, that's a great fucking idea. Hey, you're going to eat bugs. No more meat for you guys. It's like, what? Bugs? I guess John wasn't crazy. Yeah, maybe we better get some food together. Good fucking idea. Attention plumbers. Pull your head out of the toilet. Go get some food, at least 3 months, because there are going to be problems. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. Hey, means of self-defense. I listened to a video from a Venezuelan gangsta who put his video out on social media saying, oh, yeah, I'm a gangster, man, down in Venezuela. We don't mess around down here, right? Us gangsters can do whatever the fuck we want. And this was in response, folks, to reports that Venezuelan prisoners, criminals, are being set loose and sent to the American border to come up here. This little piece of shit down there. And I want to thank Kaz, the Italian hillbilly. That's right. When you see the Italian hillbillies questions up here, that's Kaz. That's Big Kaz. Sent that to me. And he's like, hey, check this shit out. Right? These Venezuelans think they're going to come up to America. And they're just going to come up and steal your car. They're just going to start killing people because, they feel like it. And they're Venezuelan badasses. Apparently, the Venezuelans haven't realized that they got to go through Texas. And they got to go through New Mexico and Arizona. And there's a lot of conservatives in those border towns, folks. You want to walk up to their car and try taking it? You want to tap your 9 on the glass, tap, tap, tap. You're going to probably meet a 12, or they're just going to run your ass over. Am I promoting violence? Am I glamorizing it? Fuck no. That's scary as hell, that idea. But it won't take long. How many cars can a Venezuelan steal before Americans wake up and realize these little dirty bastards are who they are? Now, remember, folks, I put the news article out down in Brazil. They passed a law. If people are using scooters and motorcycles to rob people, you're allowed to run them over. And there was a slurry of videos from private security and cameras, phones, where people pull up on a scooter, jump off of it, right? The back person jumps off the back and tries robbing people on the street or in their cars. And other people just run them right the fuck over with their car to put an end to it. That's the point, to put an end to the crime. Because before that law, you see what would happen is 2 ding-dongs on a scooter, 2 criminal, thug, murderous pieces of shit ding-dongs would ride up on a scooter, right? They can pull over, hide in little places, jump out, rob people, jump back on the scooter and take off very quickly down dark alleys, sidewalks, get away. And people got tired of that shit. Well, I tell you what, for every creative criminal mind, there's 100 people out there who would love to have a chance to stop you. No, it's coming, folks. It's coming. All right, Jolene, it's enough on the cops. Bad boys, bad boys. Latin America preparedness steps in and he says, an escalation of war in Eastern Europe is occurring. Putin has announced an increase of military with a draft being implemented. What preps should everyone make to not be surprised? I'm going to have to think about this for a minute there, Latin America preparedness. I'm going to start by saying maybe we should all have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and means of self-defense. It's the same preps, man, no matter what. And I do appreciate the question, and I'm not making fun of you in the least. There's so many people that think that this is complicated. It's not. Getting prepared is the same, whether we're talking about war or lights out, civil unrest, or international global terrorism on acid. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. We got to be prepared. Now, I do want to address Eastern Europe and war. The mainstream media in the West and in Europe. Europe is the West, by the way. I know America is west of Europe, but Western Europe is considered the West compared to Eastern Europe and Russia and China and the, shall we say, the Orient, the Ottoman Empire. They're trying to say that the Russian people are very much against this draft that Putin is doing. Well, Putin sees a fucking war coming. Draft it is. Of course there's going to be people that are against it. Who the fuck wants to go to war and die? Or who wants to go to war and maybe die? I tell you what, as an American, when I was a boy, we wanted to go kill communists because communists are evil and bad, and they wanted to destroy America. Guess what, folks? We now have communists in America who aren't afraid to say they're communists. Who wants to deal with them? The same people who, when I was a kid, said we should kill communists. Right? Is it duck season or wabbit season? Now, we're told that Russia doesn't want to fight a war, right? We're told that, well, the Azov battalion, the Ukrainians, they went over into Donbass, Luhansk and Donetsk. They went in, they did a military counteroffensive incursion, and they went into these areas that were held by Russia, and they kicked the shit out of the Russians. What's the truth? What is the truth? Thank you, Kaz, for that update. Back to the question at hand. What's the truth with Russia and Ukraine? Now, Russia, folks, their news site, Lenta, claims Russia has now eliminated. Let me say that again without the Biden accent. Russian news site, Lenta, claims Russia has eliminated mercenaries fighting for the U.S. private military company, the PMC Academy, formerly known as Blackwater, and also Kraken irregulars are attached to the far-right Azov regiment, the Azov regiment, a.k.a. Nazis. That's right, Ukrainian Nazis, folks. Now, let me go through this again. It's not that complicated. Well, maybe it is. Our media here in the West, Europe and the U.S., said that Ukrainian army went in, which included the Azov battalion, which are Nazis, and was supplemented by private military contractors, mercenaries, people who will go kill for money. These people went in what was known as the Kherson Offensive. And now this offensive seems to have stalled. And Russia says that it has eliminated them. It has killed them. Could this be true? I don't know. I don't know if the Ukrainians and the Nazis are winning, and I don't know if the Russians are winning because I'm not there. I'm here in the United States of America. I don't know. But could it be true, folks, that Russia lured in mercenaries and they lured in the Azov battalion, the Nazis, as you and we discussed on the Prepared Mind channel. Weeks ago, we were told, oh, there's a huge push, right? And the Ukrainians, let me do it this way. The Ukrainians were pushing into, right, Donetsk. And they penetrated and went in, and they're holding these little villages and shit. Well, the Russians are just going to chomp down on them, right? Pincher movement. We discussed, folks, Russians luring them in, and these inexperienced idiots not understanding, folks, how do we want to say this? Classical war strategy. They teach it, folks, if you go to war college in the military, and Russian military commanders go to war college and study military tactics. They study history. They're not making shit up as they go. It's not fucking Rambo where you just charge the fuck in and kick everyone's ass. That's not how wars are actually fought and won. Folks, Russia is not weak, nor foolish, nor arrogant. Has Russia kicked the shit out of and eliminated mercenaries and Nazis? Or are the Ukrainians, with American help in the form of private military contractors from Academy, Are they actually beating the Russians? It's hard for me to believe, folks, that a couple of ragtag battalions of underfunded, except for all the billions of dollars given to Zelensky back in Kiev, and under-equipped Ukrainian military, except for all the armament we've sent them that somehow ended up in the back of people's Volkswagens and other vehicles and shipped out and sold on the black market. It's kind of interesting. We're supposed to believe that Russia can get its ass kicked by an underfunded, undertrained, underexperienced military like Ukraine, which has been run at the behest of a small, light in the loafers, skinny jeans wearing, male prostitute, Zelensky. Russia's not weak. They're not weak, folks. They're not foolish. They're not arrogant the way Zelensky has been. This could be a big told you so, or it could be, what the hell's going on there? But I think it's a big told you so moment. And folks, if it is, the mainstream media will never tell us the truth. Can you handle the truth, man? I can handle it. I want to know the truth. Right? I want to know. I do. I want to know the truth. Mainstream media won't give it to me, and I don't trust Russia to tell me the truth either.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
That's what they think of us, that we can't handle it. I want the truth, and it's out there. And we can read the tea leaves, folks. We can lift the curtain. We can peek at it from sides. We've got people behind the scenes, people around the world. I have a funny feeling something very bad has happened to those idiots who were part of the Kherson offensive. It is war, folks, and war is hell. And Russia has also threatened that in order to protect their territories, and that includes annexed territories like Donetsk and Luhansk, eastern Ukraine formerly, I think that they may use them. It's not a bluff, says Putin. And when somebody, folks, can launch nuclear weapons, you just don't fuck with them. Okay, let's move on if we shall. I had a lot of fun with that one. Silver Eagle says this: U.S. digital currency, a unanimous needs to compete with China. House committee. My comment: Joe Biden has declared half of his country's men and women to be domestic terrorists. How to control them? You bet. By introducing a digital currency. Central bank digital currency, the CBDC. They want to introduce these digital currencies, folks, because they will be the ones issuing them. And you cannot get digital currency unless the bank puts it in your boss's bank account, who then puts it in your bank account. And the government can claim, and the banks can claim, this is private currency. This is not public currency. This is not legal tender that can be used to satisfy all debts, public and private. Isn't that interesting, folks, how cash, dollar bills, that used to be that they were considered legal tender. Well, they still are, actually. Legal tender for settling debts, that is, making payments in both private and public debt. Private means me and you doing whatever fucking business we want off to the side. And we don't have to report it to the banks or to the government or to our boss or our mommies or anyone else. Private exchanges of wealth is not a criminal offense. But if they take those dollars from us, then what? Well, then we have to use their digital currency. And the digital currency can only be exchanged if it goes through, folks, if it goes across the desk of the government through their trading operations, that is, their digital currency exchange. Every transaction is visible, is recorded, and you will pay your fucking taxes. And the government will know what you're up to. That is why, folks, banks are told, right, in Title 31, United States Code, if you have transactions what, over $1,400, over $1,200, over $10,000, whatever the number is this week. $1,200 in cash, folks. You can be reported because you are now engaged in a suspicious activity. Since when is having $1,200 suspicious activity? I tell you what, I don't think it ever has been. But don't you think there could be a case that's made that $1,200, when that would buy an entire fucking house, literally a house for $1,200? Yeah, maybe that would be a little more suspicious. $1,200 today, that's a trip to the fucking grocery store if you've got a family of 5. Literally, food for a month for a family of 5 or 6 is $1,200. But yeah, we better report you for trying to use cash. So they do want central bank digital currencies, because then they can punish you. They can follow you. They can see what you're doing. Oh, you're trying to buy guns and you're trying to buy ammunition. What, you bought tickets to go see Trump? You bought tickets to go see other political people speak? You sent money to Matt Gaetz's campaign? Matt Gaetz, folks, Congressman Matt Gaetz, has now been cleared of all criminal charges. Matt Gaetz, congressman, Republican representative out of the state of Florida. Matt Gaetz. Prosecutors are recommend no charges filed. Folks, the Democrats and the Department of Justice, their allies, would have allowed Matt Gaetz to be prosecuted. They would have allowed it to happen, folks. But what happened is they accused, let me get this straight. Matt Gaetz, Republican, was contacted. And this person claimed that they had information showing that Matt Gaetz was guilty of underage sex trafficking and that they wanted $25 million to be paid to allow him not to get caught. Well, Matt Gaetz turned this guy in and started it and created a huge Department of Justice investigation. That's right, folks. Now, the Democrats and the Department of Justice allies, they would have allowed this to happen had Matt Gaetz kept silent while this extortion racket proceeded. Had Matt Gaetz paid $25 million to this ex-Department of Justice Democrat. That's right, folks. The person who tried extorting $25 million out of Matt Gaetz by saying he would release to the press evidence and proof that he had been sexually trafficking an underage minor. Had he paid the $25 million to the ex-Department of Justice employee, a Democrat, no doubt, Gaetz would have likely been charged with criminally handling of funds to hide his sex trafficking. In other words, if he just paid the money and went, let's just shut up and go away, I don't want to put up with any of this crap. Instead, he fought it, was exposed. Everyone went, wait a minute, is he a sex trafficker? And as it turns out, no, folks. But that's how shitty our justice system is. And Cottage Farm, that's how frustrating it is to see this and know it's bullshit. Right? Congressman Matt Gaetz has been cleared. And they've been told, don't press any charges because it's bullshit against Gaetz. And the man who tried extorting him has been found guilty, or at least been charged with, and we're going through the rest of the process there, right? But we do have a shitty justice system, as demonstrated by the man just this week, the Democrat, 41-year-old shit stain Democrat who listened to Joe Biden, who encouraged, folks, hatred and anger, chaos and violence. This man, this week, ran down an 18-year-old young Republican and killed him. Folks, these people are sick, and they're after us. Matt Gaetz commented on this extortion scheme that was brought against him by this ex-Department of Justice employee, an ex-federal employee, an ex-federal law enforcement employee. Matt Gaetz had this to say. Over the past several weeks, my family and I have been victims of an organized criminal extortion involving a former Department of Justice official seeking $25 million while threatening to smear my name. We have been cooperating with federal authorities in this matter, and my father has even been wearing a wire at the FBI's direction to catch these criminals. The planted leak to the New York Times tonight was intended to thwart that investigation. No part of the allegations against me are true, and the people pushing these lies are targets of the ongoing extortion investigation. I demand the Department of Justice immediately release the tapes made at their direction. That is, the tapes made at the Department of Justice's direction. The FBI said, let's do these tapes. He says, I demand these tapes be immediately released, which implicate their former colleague in crimes against me based on false allegations. In other words, folks, we got some serious fucking problems in this country. Do you think that the FBI would investigate one of their own, retired or not, if he had gotten away with this? Or do you think they would have looked at the $25 million that Matt Gaetz paid him if he had decided to give in to the extortion request? That's right. Money, it doesn't have to do anything with crime. It has to do with politics. Everything's politicized. We've been talking about it. Banks, financial institutions, politicized. Mainstream media, politicized. Military, politicized. Your job, politicized. Your free speech, politicized. Unbelievable. All right, let's go with this. Who is next? Jolene. A question for John from Gary D. What is your opinion about the supposed September 24th big happening? If there is anything that happens, what do you think is the most likely scenario? If something were to happen, what's the most likely scenario? Joe Biden is not popular in the United States of America. Nobody believes him or the Democrats except the mainstream media and their most sycophant, moronic followers. Probably 20% of the population or less believes these idiots. So how do you get the rest of America to believe that we're in big, big trouble and we have big problems and we need Joe Biden to save us? Well, that would be an external threat or act of violence. This week, we are told that Putin has threatened us with nuclear weapons. Thank you, Jolene. Putin has threatened us with nuclear weapons and said, hey, it's not a bluff. How hard would it be for rogue forces within the United States government to take a nuclear weapon into one of the major cities in the U.S. and detonate it and then blame the Russians? Well, that's tomorrow, folks, September 24th. If something happens, I think that is the most likely way to get the people to rally behind Biden and believe their bullshit and lies. A false flag of epic destruction, chaos, fear, terror, and death. I'm going to go to sleep tonight. I will wake up tomorrow and I will not fear. I'm not going to be fearful. We've had a lot of dates thrown at us and said big things are coming, bad things are happening. If it does happen, then I'll be frightened and scared and wonder what the hell is going on. But I know for certain, folks, I believe with all my heart that if something really bad happens, it's not going to be for the reasons that they tell us. And it's not going to be the players that are blamed. It is going to be evil forces who have an agenda, who need to control America as they destroy America, and then proclaim themselves saviors of America in true Hegelian dialect, that is to say, problem, reaction, solution. Create the problem, the act of terror. The people demand, please save us, help us, government. And the government says, we're here as your savior, and they offer the solution for the problem which they themselves created. And that solution will involve giving themselves even more power, more authority, and that we will have to sacrifice more and more of our rights in order to save ourselves. I prefer dangerous freedom, folks. Dangerous freedom than safe slavery. All right, we got two more questions. I want to get to them before we take a couple of days off. And we'll be back Sunday night for Sunday Night Live, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. We're going to talk about this week, next week, what happened last year and what's coming up in the coming year. Right now we got Christine Bihana. She says, have you mentioned this? The U.S. Army is telling their military families to apply for food stamps while we give Ukraine billions. This pisses me off! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I did read this, Christine, and it made it onto my veritable list of shit I want to talk about, but I never did talk about it. Food stamps in the military has been an ongoing problem, especially during Democrat tenures in office in the White House. But yeah, the reason they can't afford it is, number one, military gets paid shit. Number two, inflation is out of control. Biden thinks it's funny. Biden thinks it's fine. Pete Buttigieg, butt stabber, transportation secretary, first transportation secretary who has a penis and thinks he can breastfeed a baby. What is wrong with these people? I mean, not breastfeed, chest feed. Chest feed. Okay. Let me try that again. Yeah, food stamps. The government's response, get an electric vehicle. That'll save you. Take out $60, $70, $80, $100,000 in debt to help offset the cost of gasoline when your bill goes from $200 to $500 a month. You can fix that $500 a month gas bill by having a $1,200 a month fucking car payment, plus insurance, plus an electricity bill that you weren't prepared to pay. All right, what is next? Have we got one more, Jolene? Yes, we got Oregon Patriot. Sometimes Oregon Patriot kicks off the day. Today, he is going to close us out. He says, people are finally starting to realize they messed up bad with the Jim Jones juice. That's right, folks. The fucking Jim Jones juice. He says, when they cry to you, remember, we had the same pressures that they had. Plus their attempt to shame us, punish us, threaten us, steal from us. We have all made choices, says Oregon Patriot. Yeah, we have. We've all had choices. My choice was to tell them to go fuck themselves. And here we are. I am pureblood. No mRNA has been added to this system right here. And I feel pretty damn healthy. For a guy who works 16 hours a day, don't you think I look pretty fucking good? Go ahead and find someone who's gotten 2 Jim Jones juice and 2 juice boosters. Ask them how they're feeling. Don't worry, they'll lie to you. They're just fine, they say. Yeah, thanks, zombie. All right, let's move on. What do we got next? We got Uman. And he says, now that doing stuff with Nikki is back, let's all raise a glass and wish her a very happy birthday. Nikki is having a birthday. Nikki is now 35. Here you go, Nikki. Happy birthday. That, my friends, is an ice cold cocktail. Secret recipe. That's what I use. It's chock full of vitamin A, known as alcohol. Folks, get prepared. Help others, whether they're bookkeepers or they work in a factory or they're plumbers. Help them wake up. Help them see the light. Help them understand the truth, the facts. Share your opinion. If they don't believe you, fuck them. If they don't like what they hear, that's their problem. You've done your job. You can go to bed with a clear conscience. You've helped friends. You've helped family. Even people that tell you, fuck you, I don't believe any of that right-wing conspiracy theory nonsense. Folks, they know better. They feel it in their wallet. They feel it when they pay taxes. They feel it when they drive down the street. They feel it when they watch the news. They know what's going on is wrong. They are just a bunch of gutless bitches who won't stand up for themselves or their family or anyone else. Unlike you, you have stood up for yourself and your family. And you've stood up for America and said, you know what? Socialism, communism, fascism are not good for this country. I prefer freedom. We should all prefer freedom. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you're a prepper? Godspeed. God bless America. Semper Fi means always faithful. And fight for your rights, folks. Satire. There's nothing like a good joke, some good satire to help me end the day. I'll see all of you come Sunday on The Prepared Mind when we do The Zoo. That's right, Sunday Night Live. I'll see you then.